Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Outpost. I'm Alex. So, this Doctor Who story that so many people have loved, enjoyed, which is brilliant and rocks, and yet, I kind of thought it was a little bit pants. You can't beat the enter, no, not at all. But here on the Cosmic Outpost, we focus on the story. And try as I might not to have a moan about this one, I didn't want to. If it had been good, I would have been. If it had been a tightly written story, I would have been extolling its virtues. But I just can't. I mean, I love a good story. I love a clever story. I love a story where it's clever, it carries us away, it lets us have some fun, and science fiction is a favourite of mine. So when it goes badly wrong, I have to comment, unfortunately. Now, with this one, actually, you see, I've recorded this video once before, and I rambled for about half an hour, you see. So I'm dyslexic, and my brain shuts down for a second when I'm trying to fill all the stuff that, See, when I was writing on this computer, that's when my brain shut down, because it was trying to get too much information out to you. So what I want to do is just take it slowly and not rush it. So you have to excuse me if I just take it a little bit slower than I normally do, and be a bit organised so I can get my point across. And there's there's many. So all right. The story then, it's Missy on a training mission with the Doctor, and he puts her out onto a ship that's trying to escape from a black hole. A blue technician from the ship is scared that some of the things on the ship have appeared and they're coming to get her. So the blue guy takes his gun out and shoots Bill a nice big hole, and the things on the ship come and take Bill away. Now they're taking her away to heal her. And here's where the story splits. We see time is moving more slowly relative to the front of the ship, where it moves at normal speed. In the time it takes for the Doctor and the team to realise they have to go down, Bill has been healed because she had a big hole in her chest, befriended a chap called Mr. Razor, and has discovered that the humans are being converted into our old friends, the Cybermen. All this has taken 3 years because of the time dilation effect, where time moves slowly when you're nearer to a black hole. The Doctor and co turn up, and whilst Missy does the computer thing, she meets Mr. Razor, who's actually the Master in disguise. Doctor and Nardole move on, and they find out that Bill has been cyberized, which is bit of a pain for them. There were some awesome things in the episode. That was where the story ended. There were some awesome things in this episode, unrelated to the story, that were great. Missy, played by Michelle Gomez, is fantastic as ever. Her name calling from Smurf to the veiled threats of removing vital organs, just to show us how much fun she is as Missy. Peter Capaldi had some fantastic lines. There was a great line about questioning the moralities of the Doctor and comparing that to the morality of eating a bacon sandwich. Some excellent defensiveness for Peter Capaldi on why he wants to save Missy so much, save the Master. My theory is that he's done lots of bad things, so if he can save Missy, maybe there's hope for himself. Maybe he can save him from all the wrong doings. Not sure about that one. Then we have the welcome return of John Sims in disguise as Mr. Razor, who we find out later was the Master. Very well written, performed. It was a cross between the Babylon 5 character Zathras and that bloke Fuzz who does cars up on SOS DIY, car SOS DIY, whatever it is. So more than a little odd, but he had this great character which you warm to immediately, some great lines. And then at the end, where he Master meets Missy, some great lines in there. So, on to the naff part. it. Bit of a rant, bit of analysis. So now I'm very, very happy if you love the episode. But from the outset, one thing after another, yeah. I mean, before the credits, we had this part where Doctor's regenerating and the camera is zoomed in and there's this regeneration effect going on in his face, and the camera zooms out and the effect zooms out with it. So it looks as though somebody in post-production didn't really lock off that effect. Then the writer's name appeared, Stephen Moffat, so we knew it was going to be a usual tale of great premise, great setup, but ultimately meh. So, Missy steps out of the TARDIS and she announces, "I'm Doctor Who." And it was kind of like, well, no, the Doctor's always called the Doctor. Then she had a comic bit when she went on to call Bill and Nardole exposition and comic relief. So I was thinking, is this some kind of Deadpool fourth wall break attempt? I mean, Peter Cushing in the movies of the 60s, 70s, which had nothing to do from the BBC, he stepped out of a TARDIS and says, "Hello, I'm Doctor Who," because that was the character's name. There was some dubious flirtation with the Doctor's name towards the end of Matt Smith's run, but where River Song sort of like whispered his name, and that was all a bit fun. We had a pet hate of mine: Chrome, Scanline, and CCTV. Sorry, a grayscale, denoting that you're watching CCTV. Come on, go either all the way. Have a retro set of controls with a retro TV camera, or modern cameras with an intercom. Yes, I get the picture we needed to, not see that the janitor was blue until he steps through the door, the Smurf, as Missy called him. And what was it with that guy? He had no reason to act the way he was. If the Cybermen were unstoppable, he would have hidden, stayed out of their way. Yep. Blue Man knew there was no danger to himself because Cybermen only went after the humans. So how would bursting onto the bridge and shooting the human be a good idea? He thought that the Cybermen would stop coming, but they can repair flesh. So, what evidence was him to support that he shooting Bill was a good idea? I mean, I think it was a plot device to get Bill shot. A better way, perhaps, would have been to have a heroic janitor. "Who are you? Please get off the ship. Get back into your capsule," because he said that. And go. Then the Cybermen could have burst onto the bridge and defending the guys in the struggle. Bill gets shot in the crossfire. Same result, more plausible. Using the characters you've got, not some big plot line that just comes out of nowhere. Now for the big bad of the story. On the Cosmic Outpost, we've said before how you have to obey your own rules. If you lay down some rules in your story, you have to stick to them or it just looks bad. Okay, so we have Janitor Man, who says about 50 of these people were delivering the colony ship when they encountered a black hole. They slam the ship in to reverse to get out of this. They send 20 of the crew down to the other end of the ship to put the engines in reverse. Do they have no gear stick on the bridge? Can they call the engine room? Oh, could you put the engines in reverse, please? If the janitor had said the engines didn't respond, then they sent a team down to find out why, that's much more plausible. If you've got, these rules in your story, go ahead and use them. They could have said the malfunction caused the engines to fail and they needed to go down, set the engines manually. Speaking of the other end of the ship, let's take a quick look at those lifts, because they were very handy. This crew who travelled down to the other end of the ship to reverse the engines were never heard of again. Yep. Yet the cyber people came from the back of the ship all the way to the front of the ship and all the way back with no trouble. So why rule for one and rule for another? If the lifts work that way, then why didn't the crew that went from the bridge make it all the way back? After reversing the engines, they could have just said, "Oh, yeah, reverse the engines now. Off we go. We're coming back." We did have some handy MacGuffins in the ship, like some clocks which seemed to be set up to measure 2 time zones. Well, that's rather handy. Oh, and also to monitor the bridge. To see what was going on up there. Let's give these ones a pass, even though they didn't really make much sense, because they had Mr. Razor down at the base, aka the Master. So we can let them have that and get on to the big bone of contention, for me anyway, time dilation. Yeah? There has been some fantastic stories done on time dilation. Interstellar is a very recent one. It shows if you're in a gravitational pull of a black hole, time will move more slowly for you. In the TV show Andromeda by Star Trek's creator Gene Roddenberry, the ship Andromeda Ascendant orbits a black hole to escape an attack. Yep. Due to the time dilation around that black hole, the ship comes out 300 years later. In Stargate SG-1, the A team, not the team, gets stuck in a black hole, a planet orbiting a black hole, and the time dilation effects translate down the wormhole and affect Stargate Command on the other side. So we know heavy gravity from a black hole means we're actually going to get problems. Black holes are great timey-wimey plot devices you can have fun with because nobody really knows how they understand. The handy clock at the other end of the ship, calibrated to our time, shows that 1,000 years has passed, which, working out the math, means that for every second on the bridge, 2 days passes on the other end of time, because the bridge is running at 60 seconds per minute. So the effects of this 1,000-year... sorry, let me pause that. So this 1,000 years that's happened in the time dilation, what's happened to the people on the ship? Well, we know it's a Cybermondazian ship, so they're turning into Cybermen. But you got to think a little bit more. Yes, these people are evolving, but what about the fuel in the ship? Those engines have been running for 1,000 years trying to fight off the black hole. They would have run out of fuel by now. Bits would have fallen off the ship. You've got a ship blasting away from gravity for 1,000 years. Surely bits would have fallen off. Internally, would those lifts have survived 1,000 years? Would you want to get into a 1,000-year-old metal box travelling about 4 miles a second? That ship was 400 miles long, and those lifts got to the bridge pretty quick. How about some evolution? We have some folks from an already spacefaring society sat on a ship for 1,000 years, and the best they can come up with is Cybermen, wearing those giant metal accordions. Now they've got the Master on board. They're already, as I said, spacefaring. You're sure the Master has a disguise, but the Master totally could have helped them. He's got the brains and the abilities. If we had the Master shaping our society, how much farther would the human race get from the 21st century to the 31st century? They could have developed transporters, cloning facilities, maybe even escape the time dilation effect. After all, there were 3 Time Lords on this ship, Missy, the Master, and the Doctor. And he said there's billions of years ahead, billions of years ahead of humans. So why do black holes present such a problem? Well, we have to pause for some nerdage, you see, to discuss the black holes. Time Lords developed the TARDIS boxes using a device called the Hand of Omega, which turns a normal star into a black hole, and then they build a TARDIS around it. So you see, Time Lords are very familiar with black holes. In fact, in the Satan Pit, the David Tennant story, it has the Doctor saying to a ship he's rescuing from a black hole, "I'm just towing you home, gravity schmavity. My people practically invented black holes." Well, in fact, they did. In a couple of minutes, we'll have you nice and safe. So that's in a Doctor Who story. This, why can the Doctor pull the ship out of the gravity well? In this story, jump in the TARDIS, pull the ship out of the gravity well, then investigate the ship and save Bill. Would that have been too much trouble? And now we have to get to the real, stupid of the story. Sorry to sound like a tool and diss a BBC story like this, but when they set up the time dilation effects of being trapped in a black hole all that time, please get your ship the right way round. Yes, it was the bridge that was closest to the black hole, not the back of the ship. The ship was the wrong way round. They went to great efforts to give us that lovely zooming shot of the bridge module where the TARDIS arrives. So the Doctor, it's the Doctor who should have been trapped closest to the black hole and had 3 years to figure out how to save Bill in the 10 minutes it took for the Cybermen to get to the hospital and admit her and start doing things. They could have easily averted this, and had the ship at the back. The ship turned round with the engines to the back. A janitor could have simply said to the Doctor when he first materialised, "Oh, we ran into a black hole and managed to turn the ship around and put us on full thrust, but now we're stuck." Now we're stuck. So can you see why I didn't get this episode, didn't like it? A bad fourth wall attempt, wrong character motivation, story rules, a past story rule being ignored, not being imaginative about the passage of time, putting the ship the wrong way round. Just not a great episode for me, We come to the final episode next week. So let's hope the Master and Missy prove to be a great duo, and we discover what the Master was up to, being Prime Minister of Mondas, which is the original planet of the Cybermen. So maybe where his timeline was, we last saw the Master being whisked away to Gallifrey. So we shall have to see what that turns out like. Sorry for the ramble. Sorry that I didn't enjoy it as much as people. I hope you can understand these story elements that really didn't work for me. But thanks as ever for watching, and we'll catch you next time on the Cosmic Outpost. Bye for now.